Good morning. I am so happy to have you joining me this morning. This is Coffee with Carol, and the intent of this today is just to kind of give you some ideas on what you can do to get your house ready for sale, if that's in fact what you're planning to do, or even to just get your house ready so that it's a little more fun for you. Okay, well, let's get started. So, one thing I wanted to show you is, woohoo, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So what you're going to find is that in real estate, that could not be more true than today. Because quite frankly, everyone is looking at homes online. And so when they are going on the internet and looking at your photos, you have to understand that that is what's going to make them decide, is it something they want to go look at, or do they even care? They're going to pass and go to the next one. So if you're not ready, unfortunately, you may not even get on their tour list. The next thing I want to tell you is that inventory is increasing. You know, there are more homes on the market right now than we had. Actually, we have double what we had in May. So just a few, what was that, maybe 15 weeks ago, we had 2,000. Now we have close to 4. And so things are really starting to pick up. You know what? I need to wear my glasses. Yep, 4,000. So the good thing though is look across the bottom and you'll see that the pendant sales are still very strong. We still have a lot of homes that are selling, but you need to stand out in the crowd. Quite frankly, you need to be the one that looks really, really nice in order for the buyer to get excited about your home. You need to be different, maybe not standing on your head different, but you do need to stand out. I looked at homes yesterday and I can tell you which ones I thought were nice and that are memorable. And so you need to be memorable to the buyers. Otherwise, you just blend in with the rest. But this little gal, she does not blend in. She is definitely different. So for buyers, it's great because you have a lot of choices right now. But for a seller, you really need to stand out. Now, one thing that you need to understand is that there are some things that you can do that will make your home stand out. It's not necessarily costly things. There are things that you can certainly do that you'll need to spend money on. But first and foremost, your home needs to be clean. It's obvious when someone is taking care of their home and they walk through the door and the home is nice and clean and it smells nice. Some minor projects maybe need to get completed. You always want to depersonalize your home. You know, when I'm showing property and people are paying more attention to the photos on the wall than they are the floor plan and the nice things about the home, it is a little distracting. And so you probably should take down some of those photos and make it a little bit less cluttered. You know, clutter tends to make the home look smaller. And so that's a problem too. When you've got rooms that maybe are already small, remember, getting rid of some things will make that room look larger. If you've ever gone to new home construction and really thought about it, when you go into those small rooms, you don't realize how small they are, but there's maybe no dresser in there, or there's no extra space for a chair and things like that. And they do that intentionally. Obviously, it's staged, but you need to do the same. If you've got some things that are making the room look smaller, get rid of them. Put them in the garage, or maybe get a storage unit for the time when you're going to have your house on the market. Because the goal is to be better than the competition. You know, the next thing is to be priced right and priced with the current market, because you cannot realize how different our pricing has been just in the last few months. And it's not necessarily that it's dropping, but it is that there is more competition. So it's no longer an anything goes market. Things are definitely settling down a little bit. Instead of 10 offers, we're maybe getting 2 or 3, which is still great. But the statistics are that you really need to be right with the market out of the chute, because that's the seller that's going to get the most for their home. So to select that right price, it needs to be based on today's sales. And then the last is to use professional photography. You know, that first impression is so critical. And so when you're ready and you have a great photographer, it makes all the difference in the world. I hate to tell you, but this is a photo that I found that was of a home, and it's a little cluttered, to say the least. But what I want you to do is really take a look at this picture and notice that the room itself is really quite a nice room. It has nice lighting, it has vaulted ceilings, it's got lots of windows, it's even got that beautiful little arched doorway. But I bet that isn't what you noticed when you first saw this picture, because it's so cluttered and there's so much personal stuff there. And so definitely this photo is a lot better. Okay, so mainly because of the fact that this one is the same idea, vaulted ceilings, nice lighting, big windows, but the placement of the furniture is a little bit different, and it's definitely not as cluttered as that. So I doubt that your living room looks like that, but it's just a good example of how that first impression of a house is so important. Then we've got a few before and after photos. On this, you've got your kids' rooms over here. So I know that most times this is how your child's room might look, but when your house is on the market, we're very hopeful that it can look like this for showings, because again, it makes that room look bigger. That has the same amount of furniture in it, but the placement of the furniture is a little bit different and it doesn't have the clutter. Same with this. You've got the same furniture in this room, but you've got a nice white rug as opposed to the darker rug. And that placement of the furniture is so important. Same room, just a little bit different, pillow choices and rug on the floor. And then down here, same thing. The placement of your furniture is so critical, and just putting a few things on the wall and maybe a nice plant in the back. So again, it can be done easily, and I'm happy to help you do it, but it is so important that your home show in its best light when you're on the market. Homes that sell faster are proven with a national statistic that they will sell for more. And the reason being, when a home is fresh on the market, the sellers are excited about the home, the buyers are excited about the home, and they don't want to lose out. And so if you sit on the market too long, unfortunately, the buyers start to wonder, what's wrong with this house? Now, by too long, I mean 30, 45 days. But in that first few weeks, it's so important that you come out of the chute with the right price. Now, there are some things that you can do to get your home sold. How about improving that curb appeal? When buyers pull up to a house, that first impression is so important. They want to feel like the home is well cared for, because odds are what you see on the outside is similar to what you're going to see on the inside. So having the overgrown landscaping pruned and manicured and looking nice is really more important than you think. And with this first photo, that could definitely be cleaned up with a landscaper that would just, prune those bushes, and let me see those windows that are there. And then that lets light into the room as well. How about a more inviting patio? So that front porch with some flowers and fresh paint and fresh painted door, maybe a wreath on the door, that just says welcome. It's fun to have outdoor entertaining areas. You can get a lot of lights and things that will decorate your yard and make it look pretty. You can do a fire pit, you can do fun furniture, and it just selling that fun lifestyle is what you might want to be doing. Some before and after, and on these, all we're talking about is a little fresh paint and some flowers. So these cute window boxes certainly do dress up this house. And then over on this side, you've got the door that's a nice fresh color. You've got that nice chair sitting there, and you've got eliminated a lot of those bushes that are, taking up space and making it look a little bit tacky. Pride of ownership. When you put your house on the market, hopefully you've done a lot of things before you hit the market, like cleaning out your gutters and having the grout and the tile professionally cleaned. It's amazing what a difference it makes to have your windows professionally cleaned and to let that sunshine in to your home. Having the carpets clean, the floors, anything that you need to have touched up just so that everything looks good. Updating lighting fixtures. This is something that doesn't cost a lot of money, but if you've got fixtures that are not necessarily updated, you may want to take a trip to the hardware store and notice that you can get some pretty nice light fixtures for not a lot of money, and it makes all the difference in the world. Have you got a pool? If you have a pool, you want to be sure that that pool is inviting. And by inviting, I mean clean. You know, a lot of people don't have pools, and so they don't realize that there is a lot of care that goes into your pool. Even if you have a pool person that's taking care of it, you've got leaves and things. I know because we have a pool. And so when someone's looking at a pool, they want it to, you know, not remind them of all the things they're going to have to do to keep that pool clean. So again, you want to make sure that it looks nice. And then the pets. You know, not everybody's into pets. We love our pets, but if your house has pets and you can tell that you had pets, you know, you definitely want to get rid of the cat box and do some of the different obvious things to make sure that your home smells fresh and that you don't have remnants of your pets laying around. Be sure you have professional photos, because again, this is a first impression and it's through that camera lens. And so what you need to do, quite frankly, is when you walk through your home, walk through as a buyer and walk through with a whole different attitude of, you know, what is the buyer going to see when they look at those photos through that camera lens on their home computer? They didn't even get out of the house before they saw your home this morning. So how did that appear? Professional photos can be, you know, done with a professional photographer with the right lighting, with virtual tours, with drone photography. They just have a way of capturing the right angle. So it really is worth the added expense because it comes back to you tenfold. And I can tell you that clutter does not sell a home, and neither do cell phone photos with pictures of people in them. And both of these are a perfect example. Peekaboo, I see you. This guy cracks me up. Look at this. That was actually a picture on the internet. And I just think, why? You know, my first thought was, why did you leave all of that mess in the corner? And then I came over here and I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. Anyway, definitely not a professional photo. And it would have taken 15 minutes to clean off that vanity. Okay, now you see what my pet peeves are. Anyway, we have great vendors and great business partners. If you need a recommendation for anything, please let us know. We have painters, gardeners, landscapers, you know, you name it. We have used it, and we have really wonderful vendors that we would be happy to recommend for you. So if you need something, you just let me know. If you're planning on making a move, I would love to help you. If you have any questions, please feel free. Put them in the chat and we'll answer those questions for you tomorrow. Make it a great day.